Learn to act as if nothing bothers you, ladies and gentlemen, champions of your own destiny. There comes a moment in every person's life when they must choose to be controlled by the world or to control their response to it. You see, life is a master illusionist. It will throw distractions, doubters, delays, and disasters into your path, not to break you, but to reveal you, the ones who rise above the chaos, the ones who command respect. Are not the loudest or the richest or the most gifted. They are the ones who have mastered a secret art. They have learned to act as if nothing bothers them. I'm not saying they don't feel pain. I'm not saying they don't cry behind closed doors, but what I am saying is this: they've built a fortress in the mind, a mental citadel, and inside it they are unshaken. They know something that most people never understand. Power is not in reacting. Power is in restraint. Power is in composure under pressure. Power is in walking through the storm and not letting the storm walk through you. People will test you. Life will poke at your weaknesses. Circumstances will challenge your patience, your pride, your peace. But the true warriors, the quiet conquerors, they smile through it all, not because they're naive, but because they've decided nothing gets inside. When you act as if nothing bothers you, you train your nervous system to obey you. You become the master of your energy. You stop being a puppet to people's opinions, to momentary setbacks, to meaningless noise. 8 keynotes to remember. Inner control is greater than outer circumstance. Master your reactions, and nothing outside you can master you. Composure is power. The calmest person in the room controls the room. Silence is strength. You don't need to respond to every slight. Sometimes stillness screams louder than words. Respond. Don't react. Reaction is impulsive. Response is intentional. Choose the latter. Detachment is a superpower. Don't absorb every emotion. Observe it, then let it go. What you focus on grows. Focus on peace, solutions, and forward movement, not on chaos. Reputation is built in storms. How you handle adversity defines you more than how you handle success. Train yourself daily. Practice emotional discipline every day until unshakable composure becomes your nature. The greatest power a human being can possess is the power to govern oneself. It is not the storms that rage outside that determine your fate, but the calmness you hold within. To believe that your destiny is shaped solely by circumstances beyond your control is to surrender the very essence of your being. The man who understands this truth stands apart from the crowd, for he has discovered the secret to true freedom. When the world around you collapses into chaos, when fortune turns its back and every challenge presses upon your shoulders like a mountain, it is not these external forces that define you. It is your mind's steadfast refusal to be shaken. This inner citadel, this fortress of thought, is where victory is forged. No matter how fierce the tempest, no matter how relentless the assault of misfortune, the individual who commands his mind remains unyielding. You must cultivate the understanding that no one, no event, no fleeting disappointment has the power to disturb your peace unless you grant it permission. This mastery over the self is the hallmark of every successful soul throughout history. It is the difference between the victim and the victor, the weak and the wise. The man who has learned to rise above circumstance is like the captain who steers his ship not by the whims of the waves, but by the steadfastness of his hand at the wheel. The secret lies not in controlling the world, for that is an illusion, but in controlling the response, the reaction of your spirit to what the world throws at you. This is the hidden power that lies within you, waiting to be awakened. To harness it, you must practice the art of deliberate mental discipline, training yourself to remain unmoved by the noise and tumult. You become, in effect, the master architect of your own emotional landscape, shaping it with thought and will. This inner control is a fortress that no enemy can breach, no crisis can topple. When external forces attempt to break your resolve, you respond not with fear or anger, but with a serene confidence that defies destruction. In this state, You transform obstacles into opportunities, setbacks into lessons, and trials into triumphs. This inner strength is not born overnight. It is the product of relentless practice, unwavering faith in yourself, and the conscious decision to refuse surrender. Each moment you face adversity and choose calm over chaos, you lay another stone in the foundation of your mental fortress. This fortress becomes a sanctuary where your dreams are protected and your spirit is unbreakable. Imagine the power you will wield when the noise of doubt, the sting of criticism, and the weight of failure bounce harmlessly off this fortress wall. You will move through life with a steady purpose, untouched by distraction, unshaken by fear. Others will watch in awe as you navigate challenges with a quiet strength that seems almost otherworldly. Remember, the external world is ever changing, unpredictable, and often unfair. But the mind, once disciplined, becomes a constant source of power that no external circumstance can diminish. It is here, in this mastery of self, that true success and happiness are born. You do not wait for the storms to pass. You learn to dance gracefully in the rain, unbothered and unstoppable. This is your birthright to command your mind, to remain sovereign over your emotions, and to rise above all that seeks to unsettle you. Embrace this truth, cultivate this power, and watch as your life transforms beyond the limits you once believed impossible. Composure is not merely the absence of agitation, it is the presence of unwavering strength. It is the silent force that commands respect without uttering a word. The world often mistakes loudness for power, haste for progress, and emotional outbursts for passion. Yet, the truly powerful understand a far deeper principle. The mastery of calmness in the face of chaos is the greatest demonstration of authority one can exhibit. In every moment of trial, every test of character, it is the composed mind that sees clearly through the fog of confusion. When others panic, it is the composed soul who plots the course forward. When voices rise in anger and fear, the composed individual remains a beacon of clarity and resolve. This is no accident. It is the result of deliberate cultivation of inner peace and emotional control. The ability to remain calm is a discipline born from self-awareness and self-command. It is the recognition that in losing your temper or showing distress, you hand over the reins of control to the forces that seek to unsettle you. But when you hold your composure, you reclaim those reins with a steady hand, steering your destiny on your own terms. Look at the leaders who have shaped history, not those who shouted the loudest, but those who, in moments of crisis, stood firm and unshaken. Their composure was their power, and through it, they influenced armies, nations, and even the tides of fate itself. Composure acts as a shield against the barrage of negativity, allowing you to think clearly, act decisively, and maintain your dignity. Each time you choose calmness over chaos, you build a reservoir of inner power. This power does not demand attention through noise. It commands it through presence. Others sense it instinctively and gravitate toward it. It is magnetic, unstoppable, and profoundly effective. To embody composure is to recognize that the outer world will test you in countless ways, but how you carry yourself in response will define the course of your life. Your emotions are not masters to be whipped into frenzy, but allies to be guided with wisdom. By maintaining composure, you reveal a strength that transcends circumstance and shapes destiny. This calm strength is not a mask to hide behind, nor a denial of feeling. It is the clear-eyed acceptance of reality combined with the unshakable belief in your ability to overcome it. When you cultivate composure, you become like the great oak tree in the storm. Its branches may sway, but its roots hold firm. You do not collapse under pressure. You bend, adapt, and stand resilient. Consider the moment when tension rises, when every instinct screams to lash out or retreat. It is precisely in these moments that composure shines brightest. To remain calm is to harness the full power of your mind and spirit, to channel your energy towards solution rather than reaction. This focused energy is a force multiplier that transforms obstacles into opportunities. Furthermore, composure guards you against regret and doubt. The frantic mind often makes choices it later wishes it hadn't, but the composed mind, guided by patience and reason, acts with clarity and confidence. It is this quality that distinguishes those who stumble from those who stride steadily toward their goals. Composure also commands respect from others. People instinctively trust those who remain steady when the seas get rough. In moments of crisis, a calm demeanor inspires confidence and loyalty. It signals that you are in control, not just of the situation, but of yourself. This is why composure is the silent language of true power. It speaks without words, and those who possess it are heard above the clamor. It is the armor of the wise and the hallmark of those who have mastered themselves. So, train yourself to meet every challenge with calm resolve. Let your mind be like a still lake, reflecting the truth with perfect clarity. Let your heart be steady and sure, like a lighthouse guiding ships safely through the darkest night. In mastering composure, you do not merely survive, you thrive, you lead, and you conquer. Silence is one of the most powerful tools a person can wield, a force more commanding than the loudest voice or the sharpest argument. In a world filled with constant noise and ceaseless chatter, the ability to remain silent is a rare and precious strength. It is not weakness or ignorance. It is the deliberate choice to conserve your energy, protect your peace, and speak only when your words carry weight. Too often we rush to fill every silence with noise, whether through words, complaints, or reactions. Yet in doing so, we give away our power. Words spoken in haste can betray our intentions, reveal our doubts, or stir unnecessary conflict. But the one who knows the value of silence understands that sometimes the greatest statement is made by saying nothing at all. Silence is the language of confidence. When you are silent, you signal control and self-possession. You create space for thought and reflection, allowing wisdom to rise above emotion. It is in these quiet moments that clarity is born, strategy is refined, and true understanding is achieved. Moreover, silence disarms the opposition. It frustrates those who seek to provoke a reaction, for they find no foothold in your calm. It invites respect, as others recognize that you are not easily rattled or distracted. The silent individual commands attention without shouting, inspires trust without boasting, and influences others without pressure. To embrace silence is to reject the need for constant validation or defense. It is to stand firm in your convictions, knowing that your value does not depend on the approval of the crowd or the noise of the moment. This strength cultivates patience, enabling you to wait for the right moment to act, speak, or make decisions, ensuring that when you do break your silence, your voice carries the power of purpose. In this way, silence is not an absence but a presence, a powerful presence that commands respect, cultivates inner peace, and creates a foundation for success. It is the quiet force that underpins all great achievements and the invisible shield that protects the soul from distraction and defeat. There is a vast difference between reaction and response, a difference that separates the impulsive from the wise, the defeated from the victorious. To react is to surrender control, to be swept away by the tides of emotion and circumstance. To respond is to exercise mastery over oneself, to act with intention and clarity, no matter the provocation. When adversity strikes, the untrained mind flares with anger, fear, or confusion. It reacts without thought, like a wild beast caught off guard, often causing more harm than good. The wise individual, however, pauses before acting. This pause brief though it may be, holds immense power. It is the moment in which the mind regains control, where emotion bows to reason, and where true strength is born. To respond rather than react requires discipline and self-awareness. It demands that you refuse to be a slave to your immediate feelings or the whims of circumstance. Instead, you choose to deliberate, to assess, and to act in alignment with your highest purpose. This conscious choice transforms obstacles into opportunities and setbacks into stepping stones. When you respond instead of react, you become the master of the moment rather than its victim. You shape your destiny with thoughtful action, guided not by fleeting impulses but by steady vision. This is the power of the great leaders and achievers throughout history, their success rooted in the ability to remain calm, deliberate, and purposeful even under pressure. Furthermore, responding rather than reacting safeguards your relationships, your reputation, and your peace of mind. Reacting often leads to regret, misunderstanding, and unnecessary conflict. Responding, however, fosters respect, builds trust, and paves the way for lasting success. Remember, every moment is a crossroads. Will you let your emotions dictate your path, or will you command them with reason and resolve? The choice is yours, and it is the choice that defines your power, your progress, and your ultimate triumph. This conscious mastery over your responses is not a gift reserved for a select few. It is a skill that can be cultivated and refined through persistent effort. Each time you encounter a challenge or provocation, remind yourself to pause. Breathe deeply. Observe your emotions without surrendering to them. In this pause lies the power to choose your course rather than be swept away by the currents of impulse. When you respond thoughtfully, you harness your inner strength and direct it toward constructive action. This transforms moments of crisis into opportunities for growth and innovation. It is the foundation upon which character is built and destiny is shaped. Moreover, by responding instead of reacting, you send a powerful message to the world that you are a person of integrity and control. People will look to you in times of trouble, knowing you will not be swayed by chaos or pressure. This builds influence and inspires confidence, not through force, but through the quiet power of self-mastery. Understand, too, that the world will continually test your resolve. Situations will arise designed to provoke quick reactions, insults, disappointments, failures. But your ability to respond with calm, clarity, and purpose will shield you from being derailed by these tests. You will remain anchored to your goals and values, moving forward with unwavering determination. The path to greatness is paved with moments where you could have reacted, but chose instead to respond. It is in these moments that the seeds of success are planted. They grow into habits, and habits form the character of those who achieve lasting victory. Embrace this truth. Mastery over your reactions is mastery over your life. Train yourself daily to respond with intention. This is the art of true power, a power that transforms challenges into triumphs and chaos into clarity. Detachment is a profound strength that the wise cultivate, a shield forged not in coldness but in clarity. To detach does not mean to abandon or to feel nothing. Rather, it is the ability to rise above the entanglements of emotion and circumstance with a clear mind and steady heart. It is the art of observing life's trials and triumphs without becoming enslaved by them. The world will seek to entangle you in drama, in pain, in the ceaseless ebb and flow of fleeting emotions. It will pull you toward anxiety over what might happen, regret over what has passed, and fear of what lies ahead. But those who practice detachment understand that true power lies in freedom, the freedom to choose what affects your spirit and what does not. Detachment allows you to see situations with the eyes of the strategist rather than the eyes of the victim. When you detach, you create distance between your inner peace and the outer chaos. This distance provides the clarity necessary for sound judgment and wise decisions. You do not become a prisoner to circumstances or other people's opinions. Instead, you remain sovereign over your mind and emotions. In the life of a great achiever, detachment is not indifference but mastery. It is the ability to care deeply about your goals and values while refusing to be shaken by temporary setbacks, criticism, or unexpected obstacles. This mental posture preserves your energy, focusing it where it matters most in deliberate action toward your highest aspirations. Moreover, detachment protects you from the unnecessary suffering caused by over-identification with external outcomes. When your sense of self depends too heavily on approval, success, or material gain, you become vulnerable to despair when those things slip away. But with detachment, you build resilience. You learn to find fulfillment not in what the world gives, but in the strength and integrity you cultivate within. This power to detach is a shield against distraction and despair. It allows you to maintain equilibrium amidst turmoil and to navigate life's uncertainties with confidence. Those who master detachment become like the great mountains, steadfast, unmovable, and majestic despite the storms that rage around them. Detachment is not withdrawal, it is engagement without entrapment. It allows you to fully participate in life's challenges and opportunities while maintaining a sovereign calm that cannot be shaken. This inner sovereignty is a fortress of the mind, a place where your true power resides, untouched by the chaos of circumstance. When you practice detachment, you guard yourself against the toxic influences of anxiety, resentment, and despair. These emotions are like quicksand. They pull you deeper the more you struggle. But detachment provides the perspective to see these emotions for what they are, temporary and powerless unless you give them your energy. With this perspective, you choose peace over panic, action over anguish. Consider the great leaders and thinkers of history. They were not immune to hardship or pain, but they were masters of detachment. They faced criticism without bitterness, failure without defeat, and loss without losing themselves. This mental discipline allowed them to keep moving forward, undistracted and undeterred. Detachment also empowers you to act with clarity and wisdom. When emotions cloud judgment, decisions become muddled and outcomes uncertain, but with detachment you create the mental space necessary for insight and reason. You become a calm center in a swirling storm, capable of seeing paths that others cannot. This superpower of detachment is cultivated through daily practice, observing your thoughts without attachment, releasing what does not serve your highest good, and committing yourself fully to the present moment. Over time, this practice transforms your mind into an unshakable pillar of strength. When the world demands your attention with endless distractions, when challenges arise that would unsettle the average person, you will stand apart, calm, focused, and free. This is the gift of detachment, the power to remain yourself, no matter what the world throws your way. The mind is a garden, and what you choose to plant within it will determine the harvest you reap. This is a truth as old as time itself. What you focus on grows. The thoughts, beliefs, and images you nurture become the architects of your destiny. If your attention is consumed by worry, doubt, or fear, those elements will expand in your life like invasive weeds, choking out the flowers of hope and success. But when you consciously direct your focus toward your goals, your strengths, and your vision of the future, you begin to cultivate a fertile ground where success takes root and flourishes. The power of focus is not accidental. It is deliberate and requires discipline. It demands that you turn your gaze away from distractions, negative influences, and the noise of the crowd, and instead fix your eyes firmly on the prize. Understand this. Your mind does not differentiate between what is real and what is vividly imagined. It responds to the images and emotions you feed it. If you constantly dwell on setbacks, failures, or limitations, your mind will seek to make these your reality. But if you feed your mind with hope, determination, and clear intention, You harness an unstoppable creative force that shapes your external world accordingly. The great achievers are masters of this principle. They guard their thoughts with vigilance, refusing to entertain doubt or fear. They rehearse success in their minds, visualize their goals with vivid clarity, and hold fast to the belief that every challenge is an opportunity for growth. Through this focused mental discipline, they turn dreams into realities. Moreover, focus is a magnifier of energy. The more you concentrate your attention, the greater your ability to generate momentum toward your objectives. Scattered thoughts and divided attention dissipate power and slow progress, but concentrated focus sharpens your efforts, heightens your creativity, and opens doors that once seemed locked. To harness this principle, you must become the vigilant gatekeeper of your mind. Recognize when your attention drifts toward negativity or distraction, and gently but firmly bring it back to what truly matters. Train yourself daily to seek out the positive, the constructive, and the inspiring. Remember, what you choose to dwell on is the soil from which your life's experiences grow. Plant with intention, water with belief, and watch as your world transforms before your eyes. The power of focus extends beyond mere thought. It influences your actions, your habits, and ultimately, your destiny. When your mind is fixed unwaveringly on your purpose, your actions align naturally with your goals. You begin to notice opportunities where others see obstacles. Your energy becomes a laser beam, cutting through confusion and hesitation, illuminating the path ahead with precision. But focus demands sacrifice. It requires the courage to say no to distractions, to doubts, and to the easy temptations that pull you away from your vision. It means forging a mental environment where negativity finds no home and where hope and determination reign supreme. This discipline is not a burden, it is the key that unlocks the door to achievement. In moments of trial, when setbacks threaten to divert your attention, remember that your mind's focus is your greatest weapon. Redirect your thoughts from what is lost to what can be gained. Refuse to entertain the voices of discouragement. Instead, immerse yourself in the vivid picture of success and let it fuel your persistence. Focus also shapes your emotional world. The more you dwell on positive possibilities, the more your emotions align with confidence, joy, and resilience. These emotions, in turn, propel you forward, making the impossible achievable and the distant near. This principle is a call to mastery over your inner world. It is a reminder that you are the gardener of your own destiny. By choosing carefully what you nurture in your mind, you set in motion a powerful chain of cause and effect that leads inevitably to the life you envision. Harness this power daily, guard your focus fiercely, let it be the compass that guides your steps, the fuel that ignites your passion, and the lens through which you view every challenge and opportunity. Through unwavering focus, you do not merely survive the storms of life, you thrive in their midst, shaping your reality with the force of your mind's unwavering attention. Control your emotions, or they will control you. The most formidable battle a person will ever face is not against external foes, but the turmoil that rages within the tempest of uncontrolled emotions. To master life's challenges, one must first master the self, and at the heart of this mastery lies the ability to govern your emotions with unwavering discipline. Emotions, by their nature, are powerful and swift. They surge like wild rivers capable of flooding the calmest mind. Left unchecked, they cloud judgment, undermine resolve, and steer the individual into decisions born of impulse rather than reason. The man or woman who surrenders to anger, fear, jealousy, or despair becomes a prisoner to these forces, their destiny shaped by passions rather than purpose. True strength is found in restraint, the silent command over the waves of emotion that seek to overwhelm. It is not the suppression or denial of feelings, but their regulation with wisdom and clarity. When you control your emotions, you hold the reins of your life firmly in your hands. When you allow them to control you, you become a mere passenger, tossed about by every wind of circumstance. Consider the greatest figures of history, those who rose to heights of achievement and influence. They are marked not by the absence of emotion, but by their mastery of it. In moments of crisis, they did not lash out in fury or retreat in fear. They maintained calm, clarity, and a steady course. This emotional discipline gave them power over events and people alike. The control of your emotions begins with awareness, recognizing the stirrings of anger before it erupts, the shadows of fear before it paralyzes. It is the practice of choosing your response instead of reflexively reacting. It demands patience, practice, and the constant vigilance of self-observation. By reining in your emotional impulses, you conserve your energy for purposeful action. You build a reservoir of calm that enables you to think clearly, make wise decisions, and persevere against adversity. This control does not make you cold or indifferent. It makes you strong, centered, and free. In mastering your emotions, you free yourself from the chains that bind so many to lives of regret and missed opportunity. You become the captain of your soul, the architect of your fate, and the master of your destiny. This mastery over emotions also transforms the way you relate to others. When you remain calm and composed, you radiate confidence and command respect. Your measured responses inspire trust and influence, while uncontrolled emotions often alienate and undermine. People are drawn to those who embody emotional strength, for they offer stability in uncertain times. Moreover, controlling your emotions is the foundation of resilience. Life will test you with setbacks, disappointments, and betrayals, all designed to provoke a reaction that could derail your progress. But when you maintain emotional control, these trials become mere stepping stones on your path. You face adversity with a steady heart, recover quickly from failures, and press forward with renewed vigor. This discipline is not born of chance. It requires consistent effort, cultivating self-awareness through reflection, practicing mindfulness in daily life, and developing habits that strengthen your emotional intelligence. It is a lifelong commitment, but one that yields unparalleled rewards. Understand, too, that emotions serve as signals, valuable information about your inner state and environment. Mastery does not mean ignoring these signals, but interpreting them wisely. Anger, for instance, may indicate injustice that must be addressed, while fear can warn of real dangers. The master uses emotions as guides, not governors. In this way, emotional control is both armor and compass. It shields you from the chaos of impulsivity and points you steadily toward your goals. Without it, even the greatest talents and ambitions can be squandered in moments of uncontrolled passion. So, embrace this truth. To control your emotions is to claim the highest form of personal power. It is the gateway to peace of mind, effective leadership, and enduring success. Let no circumstance, no person, no event dictate your emotional state. Instead, stand firm as the master of your inner world, and watch as your outer world bends to your will. There is a profound wisdom in the art of letting go, a principle as essential to success as the breath is to life. To hold too tightly is to invite suffering. To release with grace is to open the door to freedom and possibility. Those who master this art understand that clinging to the past, to grievances, or to outdated beliefs only chains them to a life of limitation. Letting go is not a sign of weakness or surrender, but an act of courage and strength. It is the deliberate decision to free yourself from burdens that no longer serve your highest good. It is the willingness to shed old fears, failures, and resentments so that your spirit may soar unencumbered toward new horizons. The mind, when burdened by what cannot be changed, becomes clouded and heavy. It struggles to see the path ahead, caught in the web of what-ifs and should-haves. But by releasing these chains, you create space for clarity, innovation, and growth. Like the mighty river that flows freely after shedding its debris, your life gains momentum when you let go of what weighs you down. Furthermore, letting go is a practice of trust. Trust in yourself, in the process of life, and in the unseen forces that guide your journey. It is an acknowledgement that not everything is within your control, and that peace comes from embracing this truth rather than resisting it. Those who refuse to let go cling desperately to comfort zones, to familiar pain, or to false securities. But growth demands movement, and movement demands release. To grow, you must prune what is dead or dying to allow new life to flourish. This is the paradox of progress. You must lose something to gain something greater. The art of letting go also cultivates resilience. When you learn to release attachments gracefully, you bounce back quicker from setbacks, face change without fear, and welcome transformation as a natural part of life. This flexibility is the hallmark of those who thrive where others falter. In mastering this art, you become like the wind, unpredictable, free, and unstoppable. You no longer carry the weight of past failures, the bitterness of grudges, or the shackles of doubt. Instead, you move forward with lightness, purpose, and the confidence that comes from knowing you are not defined by what you have lost, but by what you choose to create. So I ask you today, what are you giving your power away to? A rude comment, an unpaid bill, a missed opportunity? You were born with the power to choose your response. Use it, stand tall, breathe deep, and move forward with the grace of a lion and the heart of a giant. Let the world throw stones, you build a castle. Let the noise rise, you rise higher. Let the shadows chase you, you walk in light. Learn to act as if nothing bothers you, because soon nothing will. Thank you.